We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such. I know y'all tired of it, but we got a new season of The Past. Welcome to season 8, the Mamba Year. Podcast available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your podcast platforms. Here you'll get a dose of content related to tech, the productivity world, and most importantly, how to be a better you. The theme for this year, personally, is receiving grace. And we definitely want to do better with receiving it and being open to being a better us from who we were a year ago. So this is season 8 of The Past, and I hope you all enjoy.
Ooh, we got guests today. We got animals on deck. No, I'm just kidding. What's going on, y'all? How are we doing? Haven't kicked it with y'all for a Wednesday walkcast in a minute. So, ta-da, voila, here we are. And I'm going to tell you, man, it's always a good feeling when you can get back to what you enjoy doing and do it to the best of your ability. Today, oh man, today we got the birds out today, which is cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm thankful for it. Definitely appreciative. Um, I I always think it's interesting when you watch someone's video or receive a message from someone's video, and it makes you really think like, man, let me scale it back a little bit. Let me tone it down a little bit. And sure enough, this walk today, it's each walk is the walk. I'm not about to make light of it whatsoever, but today I'm definitely taking my time and being appreciative. And why I say that is minimal example, but full full circle point. Those, I mean, you can still hear them a little bit, but those birds that I'm able to hear or still able to hear, not everyone's getting that opportunity to hear those. That's number one. Number two, depending on their location, I would possibly be able to see them. Not everyone gets to see those birds in their morning aura, and it becomes a bigger impact. You think of the things that you have the ability to do versus the things that others wish they had the ability to do. A couple of days ago, I got a message saying that you are blessed. And when I got it, it kind of took me back a little, only because I knew or know that there was a genuine reason in that being said, but in its initial moment, I really wasn't in like a space to absorb that. Well, now time has passed a little bit, and I really I really understood it, and it really makes more sense. So I'm not as un ungrateful for receiving or hearing that message. That's one layer of what I wanted to talk about this morning. What I am going to talk about, and I really want to get into, and this is going to definitely take up both the walk and the jog, is finding the sweet spot in content. And I know a lot of people have been trying to figure this out. I know a lot of people have been in a very, I don't want to do social media, but I also want to get things out there. They're also in the, a lot of folks are pushing the, it's good to be offline. It's good to be off the grid. Um, you're getting thrown a social media detox. You're being pushed with the put the phone away, lock the phone, in my case, break the phone. And all those things are cool. But when you know that you have things or have posts that you want to share, it's it's not it's not gonna be done via word of mouth. It's not gonna be done via a cold email. Like I can't take these audio clips that I do like this and put them on, say, I don't know, put them on. I can't put them I can't put them into an MP3 format and just start emailing them to people and say, hey, listen to my audio, or put them on the website. Sure, I can put them on the website, but you still got to get the website to be known by people beyond where you live. I'm going back a little in the history books, but not too far back because sometimes old jokes get old fast. If you know, you know. But I will be the first to come clean in saying that when email first became a hot topic or a commodity, no one was really thinking about the capabilities or what email was capable of, like how powerful and or resourceful it was. Like you literally could, if you knew the person or could communicate with them to some extent, you could literally email them from wherever in the world, and they could respond back. Like forums, emails, chats, like old school chats. I'm not talking about the current social media DM debauchery, but actual chats with people where everybody would throw that infamous three letter phrase ASL. Like younger Gen Z, you could literally throw so many of the '90s makers, like early internet, at them, and they would have no idea what you're talking about. But getting away from that and coming back to content, I personally have found that I have a lot of content that I like sharing. All well and good. I've found my ways to share those forms of content, and it's, in so many words, it's works to my advantage. Again, all well and good. The wall becomes you share the content gets seen by who it needs to be seen by. But now you're in this social loop of, all right, share it, get away. And it's challenging to get away because you're then thinking about other people's stuff that you're seeing online, and you're either gaining ideas from it or they're pulling you into a 10 or 20-second video that now has your attention to the point of, okay, they're out there, they're pushing their platform. What am I not doing? Well, it ain't even that. And I won't even say push their platform. I will say they've thrown a 10-second video that's getting seen, at least for sake of discussion, is being seen at least 10 times per person. And in doing so, those people see it. And here, sometimes I've had folks, and I've done it, where they play a video and you really don't even pay attention to the fact that the video is playing, but it's just constantly playing. Meanwhile, that person who posted the video is getting credit for that video being posted and being seen that many times because you're just throwing it into not even a feedback loop, but just a posting loop. And it begs the question, how do you break that cycle? Because let's face it, if you're a person who values content, you want to see what others are posting, but you're not wanting to see others post to take ideas. It's more so to understand, hey, so and so did this. I'm not saying I need to do exactly what they're doing, which we talked about this yesterday at like a designing event. And I'm sharing this with you all as listeners and as friends and as people who know me. Do not ask someone to design something to look exactly like what someone else has already done. The biggest reason why websites such as, well, not even websites, but businesses who are in competition but still working on their own dance are able to compete the way they are is because of being different. If you look at Cap One, if you look at Bank of America, if you look at Truist, if you look at any of your financial, Chime, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, um, TD, American Express, Navy, all of those are some form of a financial company. Some are, to some extent, FDIC insured, and they all have a different, distinctive style, look, and feel to them that makes them stand out. Like USAA and Navy kind of have the same target flow, but if you look at their apps, they're designed differently. If you look at like any business that has an app that's out there, their app is designed to not look like another app. Case in point, if you see a little flag, you know without saying that it's Bank of America. Um, so you want as a business and as an individual, you want your business or your product to be different, not to fall in line with what everyone else is doing. Um, in my 4 years of being the owner of Rely on Bot, even in me looking at different people's designs or styles for their business, I've seen no one have their design be a robot. And it's stuck. It has stuck. Now, the big question lately has been, why should people rely on me? And we're going down a different path, and y'all know how I do with these walks. But it really does push that question of why would someone want to rely on me to do work for them when I'm still trying to like gain my confidence and my ability to really do design works. And it's not that I can't do it. That's not the problem. It's that I am, and I had this exact same conversation with the young lady I met with yesterday as well. Your many designers will throw themselves into a chaotic fit just because of the fact that they want their design and their look to be perfect. And what's so insane about it is if you open WordPress, if you open any Adobe application, if you open anything that's non-template based and you're sitting there with a white canvas or a blank pad, it's you and your thoughts. And when it comes down to being forced to really think of like, okay, what am I going to say or how do I really feel? It can become very, for lack of a better term, it can become very overwhelming. And the overwhelming part is what, in so many ways, can run people off. It separates a lot of creators and creatives from really putting their best foot forward. Before I go any further, uh, I don't want to go unnoticed on this. It's just not my thing, but happy Juneteenth to everyone. Uh, I went to a engagement event with my company. I got to meet a young lady who gave a presentation about Juneteenth, and my main push was just being a sponge to gather up the information that was being shared because there was quite a bit. But I I knew the magnitude of Juneteenth, but I didn't realize the magnitude of it until after the fact. And it was kind of ironic because I went to that event, and I want to say at some point afterward, I'm online on TikTok, and a video pops up of a gentleman who was explaining the proper flags for Juneteenth because there's one flag that's been shown for kind of the African version of it, which is the green, black, and red, and it has like a fist, and that's a representation of Juneteenth. But then you will see the red, white, and blue flag, which is it's a blue, I think it's blue top, red lower portion. It's kind of split in half, but it's not fully in half. It's like a somewhat of an oval, but not an oval. And in the middle, there's a circle and a symbol within that circle, and that represents Juneteenth. Um, there was a lot, like there were a lot of things that they talked about, and I'm one of those people now. Like again, I've talked about this on the podcast a couple times. Probably talked about it in there once. I think I've done. I want to say I've done a newsletter about it. I have the process, and it's not a lot of times because someone will say something, and it's like, okay, I know you got questions. You want to throw something out there and get some ideas, and it's like, yeah, I would like to, but I'm also like trying to get into it a little bit more in depth and understand it myself, which I didn't even realize until when we did the question and answer part that there was an actual like a book called Juneteenth 101. Learn something new. Uh, and I was on the fence about it, even realizing like today is that day. there was a part of me that really was like, man, I should take the day off. And then I'm like, you know what? It's just cool. I got an upcoming day off. I utilize that day to acknowledge the celebration. And it even comes down to what people talk about all the time. Some people do it spiritually, some people do it secularly, and some people do a combination. And it's kind of the case with any activity or any holiday, but we sometimes don't see that because it's not as mainstream as others would like it to be, for lack of a better term. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at with content. Um, if you're a creator and or creative, and I even saw this message this morning, and this is gonna really hit a lot of people. It is nothing wrong with being a creative and not looking to profit off of your creativity. Think, if you don't find there being a benefit or a gain to turning your creativity into a business, don't push it. Sometimes you can push yourself into for lack of a better term, you can push yourself into a wall, and that may just not be what's necessary to navigate through that space of being a creative. You may need to just walk out like I'm doing now. You may need to just be that person of let me just do design work, or do whatever the creative thing is that I'm doing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't don't feel don't feel compelled to have to follow what others do. And I'm gonna share the story, and then I'm gonna close this out. Now, I think I've probably shows where I feel like it come up as a topic. When I was younger, I went on a trip with, and I'm not gonna put too much information, but people who know will know when I start talking about this. I went on this trip, and quite a few people there. Um, we enjoyed quite a few activities, had a good time, really got to enjoy and embark on the opportunity as a whole. All fine and dandy. Each day, I was able to, quote unquote, get my fits right. I had my fits together as far as what I wanted to wear. And everything was cool. Everything was fine. Everything was great. And then we got to what might have been, I think, either the last day or the second to last day. And I had this outfit. I didn't really have many options left. But I was like, you know what? I just need to put clothes on and go and do what I do. And that was one of my first turning points in my life overall, where I'm more into it now. I'm more concerned about, like, hey, if I wear this, having this match this, or having this look like this, like I think about those things a lot more with more intention than I did before. Well, I wore this outfit, and my intentions were just, look, I need an outfit, and not everyone really was on board with said outfit, which didn't matter because it wasn't like anybody could really say, hey, let me get you an outfit real quick to have something that's kind of looking decent. I looked decent. I didn't look like it wasn't a hot mess. It wasn't like anything wrong with it. It just didn't match. And I caught a little bit of flack about it, which was so weird at the time. But then in theory, it was almost like beginning to bring forth something that I never realized is a big deal to me now, as far as like, hey, be you and be okay with it. Like, you don't need to look the part that others think you need to look. Because sometimes you'll do that, and in the process, you're losing credibility of being an individual, right? Um, But at the time when it happened, it was so like, you would have thought I like broke a fashion cardinal sin or something. And I was just like, I just put on an outfit because this is what I had. And I think I still had to like still come up with a fit for like the last day coming back, which that's always fun. Because you got some folks, which I commend women who do it. They will go out and they will have like 3, maybe 4 outfits a day. And the men, don't get me wrong, like we're gonna at least, we got the casual, we walking around chilling fit, and then we got the look, I'm going out tonight. You know, you put that fit on, it's like, hey, I'm here, so just let me cook. Uh, so just distinguishing those 2 or 3, but yeah, for this trip, and again, I was younger. I was like in high school. Long and all, had a great time. Had a great time on the trip. And really enjoyed myself. But that's what I like to say. Just be you, and to add incentive, be unapologetically you. Um, Not everyone's gonna get you when you are you, but sometimes the being you is what others need to see to make it all make sense. And that's what I'm grasping and latching on to of late, is the opportunities and the times that I've truly been me have paid off. And the times that I've like fought it, I paid the price. So I hope this walkcast resonates with someone. I'm gonna get back to it, and we may do another one soon. I might not. I know right now. I think I have 2 in queue, and you should by that point be hearing the next podcast. Um, I will be doing my shows. I've kind of gotten back, and I know I was gonna finish up, but I've kind of gotten back or I found that my show flow now is to do one show during the week, or do a show every 2 weeks, and then I've taken like my wallcast and it's like, hey, I feel like I need to hook up the mic and let it rock, and you get these shows. I'm trying to still figure out how did I get a cast done on Friday, but I'll go back and listen to it to see where I was going, because somehow it all comes together. But I digress. But I love y'all. I appreciate you. Continue to be powerful, amazing, productive people. Do not stress yourself out over what's out of your control. And I will catch y'all on the next one.
Truly hope you all enjoyed the show. Definitely was a lot to unpack, but I know you'll walk away with something important. As I share at the end of each season, do find your way to get into podcasting if it's something you would like to do. My podcasts are currently recorded via Buzzsprout. Been very good to me. If you want to learn more about using them, definitely hit me up at thepastbtpod@gmail.com. And also the microphone that you're hearing me on is the Blue Yeti X. Have been rolling with it for over 3 years. We've been doing this ride for quite some time, so I hope someone could find this mic useful. Again, find those people who are good or helpful in what you're trying to do to be better today than you were yesterday. The primary goal is to be 1% better. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll be back again to do this next time.